Oh, hello. I'm wondering if I can do this video while I pet my dog because it is super cold outside today, and so we can't really go for a walk. I'm so sorry, but it's so cold. So here we go. We're just going to pet you, and hopefully that will keep you entertained. Love you. If we haven't met yet, my name is Nikki and I am a crocheter, and I just started crocheting last summer. I started my crochet business last fall, did my first craft market last fall, and started a YouTube channel. So I'm excited to share more with you guys. And here's my dog. Here's Maisie. Well, a little update time. I am about 2 weeks into my temperature snake. So here is my temperature snake and the progress so far. We're about halfway through January already, which is crazy. So the days in Wisconsin have been a little bit warmer than I would say is typical, and quite a few changes. So I kind of did one color for 15 to 30 degrees, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. And so far it's turned out pretty well. So we'll see as the months go on just how big this temperature snake gets. But right now it is doable. And I think this pattern is working for doing the temperature snake like I thought it would. Yeah, and I'm liking it so far. It's fun to just do like one row per day and see like how far that's going to get me in a year. So I'm excited. So if you don't know, I am a new crochet artist. Can I call myself an artist? I don't know yet. I am working on designing, but you know, I'm not there quite there yet. So crocheter, I'm a somewhat new crocheter. I just learned last summer, but I should preface this by saying I was brand new to crochet, but I have done other things that have been similar in a sense of reading a pattern, making things, putting things together. So my mom taught me to sew when I was a kid, and then I have done weaving. I did weaving for a while. I've had a lot of different hobbies in the past couple years. Weaving was a big one, and then last winter I decided to learn how to knit. And I'm sure some of you knit as well. It didn't come as easily to me as crochet has. I remember I was making a scarf and I went through the row and I got to the end and there was like 10 extra stitches and I had no idea how they got there. So, and then I ended up having to frog it all, which was probably, beginner mistake. But anyways, when I tried crochet last summer with a Woobles kit, it just clicked. Like it was like, when I first learned how to do photography, it just was like, yes, okay, I love that. It makes sense to me. And I see like so much like future potential with it of things that I can make and just as a creative outlet and hobby. So something cool with crochet is pattern testing. And I've seen a lot of pattern testing, but I've actually never done pattern testing before, and I got picked, you guys. I got picked to do pattern test, and not just pattern test, but pattern test for one of my favorite designers, Alpaca Patterns. Her name is Maria, and I got to test one of her patterns before it released, which is so cool. So I was like fangirling a little bit. If you're not familiar, Maria from Alpaca Patterns also makes or has made the Cookie, the chicken pattern, which I love. I showed this in my last video. And also Goldie the goose, which is another pattern that I really love. So Maria has made both of these. And then I did get chosen to pattern test for her. So her newest pattern is a cactus in a pot. Here it is. How freaking adorable is this? I love it. It's so cute. I actually just made her pattern. In my last video, I showed it. It was the hot cocoa cup for Valentine's Day. This is very similar to that pattern. So if you do have her other pattern, oh no, Maisie, no. My dog just stole my temperature snake. Okay. Temperature snake is now secured. Are you kidding me? Okay, I can't remember where I was. If you have her hot cocoa pattern, this pattern is similar to that with the kind of jelly cat-like legs, and then the way you work up the pot. It is kind of two separate pieces, and then you sew the top cactus onto the bottom pot. But I loved it. It was so fun to make, and just such a cool experience to be a part of a pattern test, especially for a designer that I really look up to and admire. And I knew her patterns were going to be good and fun to make. So it comes with a heart cactus, and then also a round cactus is a part of the pattern. So if you haven't checked this newest pattern out, definitely do so. It is perfect for Valentine's Day. Another pattern that I've been working on recently is I've been super into plants and succulents. So I will link below the pattern for this one. There is a YouTube tutorial, and I kind of modified it a little bit to make it a little bit more my style with the colors and just the way the pot is made a little bit, but kind of mostly followed her pattern. So yeah, I love these. Here's another one I just made. This one I kind of added some front loop only double crochets. And I'm really into adding the worsted weight yarn with the plush yarn. I'm not exactly sure how to add it the best. I'm kind of like working through it right now. But yeah, I have kind of been inspired by the Cookie the Chicken and Goldie the Goose. These ones right here. I'm kind of inspired by these patterns and how she uses different types of yarn in one pattern. So I just love that. And those are mainly my newest patterns that I've made. I have been keeping track of the patterns I've been doing in my year of yarn. And it's been really fun to complete those and see how many patterns I'm actually completing each month, because it's way more than I think. Honestly, I have to go back in my Google Photos to really remember like what patterns I have made for the month, and just even over the past fall, because you do make so many you kind of forget. So it's fun to kind of just write it down and see what I have. And then, yeah, I think it's going to be such a cool keepsake at the end of the year. One of my big goals this year for 2026 is to design more patterns. And that probably makes it seem like I've designed a bunch, and I haven't. I've designed maybe 2. So it's definitely like just infant stages for me. It's something I'm really interested in and I want to know more about. But I think going back to like the theme of like, hey, we don't want to burn out. I also have to be careful not to like dive into something too much, too quickly, too often, and do it, think about it all the time. So I'm trying to like just remind myself that it's okay to go slow. I think when we start something new, we get so excited. Like that's just what we think about, what we want to do all the time. I'm trying to really intentionally do this different than my photography business. And I'm just going to remember to take things slow. So even if I design whatever number that is, maybe it's just a couple patterns this year, that's okay, right? So even if I don't sell that much on Etsy this year, like that's okay too. Or if I have bad craft fairs, like it doesn't mean that I'm a failure or that I'm not doing good things. So yeah, I do have to stop myself though, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I got all these ideas and I should spend my time, doing all this design and crochet, but I have to make sure that I'm not doing that all the time. But in my search to learn how to design amigurumi, it's actually kind of tricky. I haven't found a ton of resources. So if you guys have any suggestions, let me know. But I haven't found a ton of resources on the actual design process for amigurumi. Now, while I say I haven't found a ton, I have found some, just not a ton. I did find this book. It's called Crochet Your Way to a Buyer's Heart with Amigurumi. And it's by Elisa. I think that's her name. Elisa Rose. So I have been starting to read this. I'm about halfway through, and I think this had some good kind of basic steps of designing. I think one of the big things I'm learning with design, and something that makes sense, but as a more of a beginner intermediate crocheter, it's not something I really think about, is like how much time it really does take to design a pattern, and that it's a lot of trial and error. So I think there are basics that you can learn you know, but there's a lot that's just going to be like trying it and seeing what happens. And that's actually like the part that I'm super excited about for designing crochet, is just like the process of it, because that's what I thrive on. Yeah, like how do I, here's my vision, how do I do that? And then the actual process of like trial and error is what's really exciting to me. So I also signed up to take well, I should say I didn't sign up. I bought a course that is a PDF course with a Facebook group from Amigurumi Toys. If you guys are in the Amigurumi space, I'm sure you know who that is. She has wonderful, amazing patterns that she designs, and she put together a PDF of suggestions how to get started with designing. So I'm going through that as well. I like that there's a Facebook group for some support. I think that's going to be really nice too, because I think some of my fears are not finding pattern testers, and yeah, just like, I don't know, there's just a lot to it. There's a lot to designing a pattern. So, and designing a good pattern, because I don't just want to like, you know, we can all design a blob, but I want to design something cool and different and unique, and that takes time. So I'm doing that. Along with that, I have to show off my Cozy Season Crochet Ideas book. And when I say book, I mean notebook. My daughter is so sweet. My daughter got this for me for Christmas, and it's just a notebook. It's a hardcover notebook, but it's to jot down all my ideas this year for Cozy Season Crochet. So I'm excited. I've just kind of started to sketch some ideas I have for some patterns, and on the back it says, "Love you, Mom." So she's so sweet. So I have an actual paper here. I can write my ideas down. I also do use Procreate on the iPad, so sometimes I'll sketch ideas out on there as well. But yeah, sometimes it's not so much the ideas, more the execution that I think I'm gonna probably struggle with, but also that I just need to keep practicing. So I think every time I do a new pattern, I learn something new. I think that is so helpful. Something else I'm doing this year is trying to step like just a little bit outside my comfort zone. Yeah, I'm sure like so many of us have gone through a hustle type culture, which I hate that saying, but whatever. Hustle type culture. So many of us have, been taught all of our lives to be productive and constantly doing things, and that's the measure of, how you feel about yourself. Please tell me I'm not the only one that's gone through that. But this year I'm trying to be much more intentional, and I'm going to slow the F down, right? Like, why are we in such a hurry? I don't know why we're in such a hurry all the time. So with crochet, I am doing it slow, and I'm going to take my grand old time. As much as I have lots of ideas and I want to write them down and I want to design and I want to do all these new patterns, I also know, hang on, you got to slow down and just take it one step at a time. So I'm trying to be really intentional about maybe choosing just a couple craft markets this year. Let's not sign up for one every weekend. That sounds awful. I'm going to choose a couple to sign up for. And I'm just going to do patterns that really excite me, that when you see a pattern, you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I have to make that. Yeah. Those are the patterns I'm going to choose. So I really want to be intentional about the patterns I'm choosing, that they're exciting to me, that I really want to make them, and that I'm not choosing too many craft fairs. I do want to do some, but not too many, because as I'm sure you're aware, market prepping is a whole nother beast in itself. And just, I really want to share my crochet with others as well, in a way of gifting, because I feel like that's something I never considered before I started crochet. And when I was starting, is that it can be given as gifts. So I love giving crochet as gifts. I gave a bunch for Christmas. My husband had me crochet some things for his people in his office. I've given my daughter's teachers crochet plushies, and it's just been a great way to kind of use your craft, use your hobby to make other people feel good, and that then makes you feel good. So I do have to tell you a little story though. When I first started crocheting, my daughter would request all these plushies, And so immediately when I would make one and be done with it, she would take it and like run away with it. And then for a while, like she was just always so excited and she would just like take it, run away with it. And I would always be like, I don't take requests, I take suggestions. Because after a while, she's like, make this, make this, make this. So it was very cute. She doesn't quite do that as much anymore. But now if she does run away with one of mine, I know it's a really good one because now she doesn't do it with every single one. So yeah, so I hope you guys come along with me this year. It's been awesome to see some comments on my last video, just to see that like we're not alone in this. That feels really good to know that I'm not alone in this and that there is a whole community out there of other people who are doing the same thing. And yeah, let's try to go slow this year. Let's like try not to kill ourselves in the process. Let's try to take our time and yeah, let's try to not burn ourselves out. So I guess that could be my big goal for 2026 is not burn myself out in my career, my hobbies. That is like, right? That's easy said, harder to do, but that's what my goal is going to be. So especially with crochet, because I could really see myself diving in and getting burned out. I am responding to some YouTube comments right now, but the fact that I got any YouTube comments is kind of amazing to me because I don't know. I never thought I would get any comments on my video. So thank you so much to everyone who's been commenting on my Hello 2026. Well, I don't even know what I called that video. What did I call it? Thank you to everyone who's commented on my starting 2026 as a business crochet business owner video. I think what's kind of cool about these comments though is that I feel like there is this community out there of crocheters, but I just haven't found them yet. And I think that part about YouTube is so exciting to me. I haven't been crocheting that long and I don't know anyone in real life who crochets. Some of my friends, I've mentioned it to, they think it's really cool and maybe they'd like to learn someday, but they don't know how to crochet. And there's really not a lot of crochet groups, clubs in the area. I have looked, I haven't found a ton. So I'm excited about just kind of like gathering a little community here on YouTube, not just for like my own channel, but also finding other channels and following them. And I think the big theme I'm kind of sensing in the comments and what I personally feel like is that we're like in this together and that we can learn from each other. And I think sometimes that's just like missing in real life. So I just gotta say it's so cool to be able to interact with other people that are on the same journey as me. And thank you guys so much for your comments. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching today. If you haven't yet, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button below so that you can see me and I can chat with you in my next video. Thanks so much.